Specifically, we're going to talk about the Columbian Exchange, which was the widespread transfer of plants, animals, culture, technology, and people between the Americas and the rest of the world in the 15th and 16th centuries, specifically after Christopher Columbus's voyages. We're going to focus on the food exchange between the two. What Old World countries received from the New World and vice versa. Let's start with the Americas. What did they get? Coming across the Atlantic, Old World foods that found new homes in the Americas include wheat, rice, sugarcane, coffee, horses, and cattle. Rice, sugarcane, and coffee all became very popular and are still consumed today. Sugarcane in particular had a devastating impact on the Americas, as it led to the enslavement of Africans and the transatlantic slave trade. But that's a topic for another video. What did the Old World get from the Americas? They got quite a lot, actually. Potatoes, tomatoes, corn, chili peppers, cacao, and vanilla. From this list, potatoes were by far the most important. Not only did they make their way into lots of different dishes, they also provided a reliable source of carbohydrates and calories. In fact, some historians argue that the introduction of the potato saved millions of Europeans from starvation, especially after the Black Death, because it could be grown in colder climates where other crops could not. Also, they were a stable food source, unlike grain, which was often unreliable due to pests or bad weather. The potato became a very important crop in Ireland, and this is why when the Irish famine happened in the mid-1800s, it was so devastating. Anyway, I'll stop rambling about potatoes now, but let me know if you want a whole video on them. Tomatoes, corn, and chili peppers all made their way to Asia and Africa. Corn in particular became very popular in many parts of Asia, where it was used in things like tortillas, tamales, and even beer. Also, you may have noticed that some of these foods can be considered both foods and drugs. This is because these foods had psychoactive properties that could alter a person's mental state. For example, tomatoes contain a chemical called solanine, which can cause hallucinations. And while cacao and vanilla don't really have psychoactive properties, they were both used in very popular drinks in the Aztec and Mayan cultures, both of which were often used in religious ceremonies. To summarize, the Columbian Exchange was good for the Americas. They got work animals, new foods, and Old World cuisine improved. However, it should be noted that all of these foods would have a negative consequence. For example, European pigs would run wild in North America and become invasive. Diseases would spread alongside foods. For example, smallpox would devastate Native American populations who'd never even seen a Spaniard. And there were many other ecological changes that happened as a result of these food exchanges.